What's up, guys? Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitry Bivol 2, the rematch from only a couple months ago. And I picked Bivol to win the first one. I'm gonna pick him here. Um, there's not much to say about this fight. Like, there's not a lot of X's and O's. Neither fighter needs to change what they did in the first fight because look, I bet Bivol the first fight, and I'll be the first one to tell you if my guy loses. I did not score that fight for Beterbiev like I scored it for Bivol, but it was a close fight, and he did not come on late. And like, I cannot stand people that say like, well, Beterbiev came on strong, and judges judge like you judge the fight by the rounds. So if he didn't win any of those early rounds, like those rounds at the end don't count more than the first couple of rounds. If you had him winning some of those rounds, that's fine. I just don't think he did. So I don't think either fighter needs to do more in this fight. I think Bivol can do the same exact thing. This fight could play out the same exact way. I'm assuming we have three different judges and Bivol could get the decision here. I definitely don't think this fight ends in a knockout. And like I said in the first fight, like I just don't see many paths to victory for or many ways that Beterbiev can win a decision. Now I didn't think that in the first fight, and it happened, but I thought the wrong guy won. So like I'm not switching my pick. Bivol knows what he needs to do. He just needs to be more decisive and man, if he doesn't have it in the gas tank, maybe that's one thing. But like, I think he kind of coasted in those last few rounds. Not to take anything away from Better Be Off because he fought his ass off, but I think he thought he won the fight already, and he was just trying to survive because he was so afraid that Better Be Off was going to knock him out. And you can't do that. Maybe he needs to gain Better Be Off's respect a little earlier because Better Be Off just was just walking forward like a machine later in that fight. And Better Be Off's almost 40 years old. Like he's just getting older. That's the reason I like Bivol in this fight is the age. I know like or Better Be Off hasn't had a lot of fights. So his body might not be 39 years old, 38 years old, whatever he is, but like he is 38, 39 years old. And like I'm 40. I could tell you the difference between somebody who's 40 and somebody who's 33. And the way your body, feels. So yeah, just give me Bivol in this fight. It's just he needs to win if he's gonna plan on doing the same thing and winning early rounds and then kind of take off late. You need to be more decisive in those earlier rounds. Because I think what happens a lot of times when judges judge fights, they kind of throw the criteria out the window. And if you're in a fight like this, like if you're giving Bivol 4 rounds in a row, and then like the fifth round is close, but you still think Bivol won. You kind of tend to give pity rounds to the other fighter. You're supposed to judge every round separate. Like you don't judge the whole fight. But I think that just happens to judges a lot. Like they'll be like, I got to give them this one, and like that round will be what ends up costing the other fighter the fight. But you got to be more decisive in the rounds that you're winning. But I think Duval has the skills to do what he did in the first fight, just replicate that, just do more of it. I think he had, enough left in the gas tank at the end. Like I said, I just think he was terrified of getting knocked out by Better Be Off that he kind of just stayed away and kind of coasted. And you can't do that. And I mean, when I was watching that first fight, I said, when I was scoring it, by the 10th round or whatever, I was like, okay, we can't lose a decision really, but you kind of got to win one of those last three rounds. I would like to see that just to make me feel comfortable. And then when they read the decision, I was surprised, but like I'm not shocked or anything like that. It's just you got to win those early rounds. You got to win them decisive. You got to be up 5-1 or something after 6 rounds, and then just pick two more rounds for the rest of the fight and win those. That's what you got to do because we just know Better Be Off's just going to keep coming. He's going to be there till the end of the fight. So you just got to bank more of those early rounds and pretty much count on losing the last couple of rounds, but just build up a big enough lead to get me a decision. And hopefully we see a third fight. Like it really doesn't matter. Like if we don't get a third fight, if Better Be Off loses and he retires, I would love to see Bivol and Benavidez. if Beterbiev wins, we definitely don't need a third fight. And I would love to see Beterbiev Benavidez, but even if Beterbiev decides to retire, we'll still get Bivol Benavidez. Like it's gonna work out. That light heavyweight division is gonna work itself out, and the next year or two is gonna be really exciting at the top of that division. The rest of that division, not so much. But yeah, this fight's gonna set up a lot of big fights within the next year or two. So let me know who you guys think's gonna win, and have a good night.